Good afternoon. How are you doing? Hope you're doing well. My name is Coach Karen. I am your iLock coach and consultant. I am a mom. I am a mom of three. I am a wife and I'm open, as you can tell. And I'm all about saving relationships from separation or termination. I want to talk to you about relationships. Of course, that's all I talk about. That's all I talk about. So, I'm gonna begin, and hopefully it won't be too long. I'm hoping no more than 5, 10 minutes, maybe. So here we go. All right, let me do a little acting. I don't know. We'll see if it works out well. All right. You told me you had money, but when I moved in, you were financially struggling. We've been dating for more than 1 year. It's not really like acting, but whatever. We've been dating for more than 1 year. Now I'm pregnant and I'm just finding out that you got kids, 2 kids, that I've never seen and you've never talked about until today. I thought you were gonna work when you moved in. You were working when I met you. Who keeps calling your phone? And why you keep coming home late at night? Any of these questions sound familiar or that you've heard yourself or from a friend of yours? These are some examples that happen during relationships, relationship conflict. And
Hello, Moto.
hang on. Sorry about that. I'll have to call my mom back. Okay. So these issues can come up during relationships. I mean, especially with the, who keeps calling your phone, why you keep coming home late. I think either we've been in that position or we know someone who's been in that position. A situation of infidelity about the babies, the 2 kids, the significant other didn't know, not being honest. Also about the person having money and the partner moves in and comes to find out that they're struggling, and then also I thought that you were gonna work when you moved in because you were working when we met. That person's not taking care of a whole adult, right? So when you think about these situations, they come up, and there's some situations that are, there's a lot. There's a lot of things that come up in relationships, with conflict in relationships. So I want to talk about the honeymoon phase. I've been talking about that. I think I'm obsessed with it. That's during the time that it's a new relationship or just dating. You're just meeting the person. You two are getting to know one another, and you're loving each other's vibe, and you love spending time together. But you don't take the time to find out who the person really is, and they don't take the time to find out who you are. That's a mistake. You got to talk to each other, especially when you're in a situation where you two are with each other a lot and you're happy and you just want to be with each other. It's actually a really good time to have conversations about what their thoughts are on like relationships, fidelity, kids, career, what their goals are. That's definitely a time to really talk about that. Again, the honeymoon period is great. you are going to get the representative to speak for you during the beginning of the dating phase. However, you do need to, first of all, remember what you're being told. Remember the questions that were asked. Remember what you were told, and observe. You observe, and that gives you a clearer idea on if that person is really authentic, if what they're saying was really legitimate. It is. It's a really good time to get to know them. You ask questions. You can make it fun. It doesn't have to come off like an interrogation, but you need to ask those questions because in the end, you don't want to find out that this person had a whole family that you knew nothing about, or this person wasn't the person that they claimed to be. So you just got to really pay attention. Just be aware. It's like working at a new job. You get a great salary, the environment is great, the culture is great, the people are great, the company you work for really has a mission behind it. You got a great package, including salary. You're working, you're learning your job, you're doing great. Guess what? Your check comes, but only a portion of it comes. So what do? You problem solve. You go and you call your supervisor to find out what happened, and you have that conversation. You want your money, right? You made an agreement to work there, so in return you get your money. Just like you made an agreement to start dating someone, and you want to find out if they're a match for you. You don't want to waste your time during that dating phase. So that's why you use that time to talk and to get information from them, and then they get information from you, and you guys spend time together. Now, I'm not gonna lie. The thing is, if it's something where you two don't mesh well, not all dating phases come out where it turns into like a commitment, into a relationship. But you can have fun during that time. You can learn things, you guys can go places, new experiences, you can be friends. You know what I mean? You don't have to turn every dating experience into a relationship. If you think about looking at your life in that sense, where you really have to be observant and really ask those questions, because I think a lot of people don't take the time to do that because they don't know who they are and they don't know how valuable they are. Your time is valuable, just like their time is. Your energy is valuable, just like their energy is. So you don't want to give your time and give your energy to something that's not going to benefit you or that person, which is turning that experience into a healthy, stable, loving, committed relationship. Again, having that dating experience and just getting to know someone and figuring out if you want to take it, to the next step, which is actually having a relationship with the person, that's awesome. That is awesome. But if it's not, then it's not. He or she just wasn't the person, or just wasn't the right time. So you don't want to make sacrifices or override your conscience or your common sense to keep going through the honeymoon phase when you know that it's not going to work, or you know that there are red flags. This is a great time for you to really talk and really make sense of where you two are coming from, so you're not blindsided. You can't predict the other person's actions, but you can get an understanding of where their head is, what their intentions are. Nobody's perfect and nothing's perfect. Things can happen, but I think you would feel a lot better if you know that, if you know that you and the person were working for the same purpose. So my reason for bringing this up is there are so many couples, like after the honeymoon phase, they're in a situation where they've moved in with the person, they're starting a family, and they don't know who they're with. They feel like they've been tricked. Their representative showed up, left, and now they got the worst version of that person. And that's why it's really important to just date. Don't make any life changing decisions during that honeymoon period. It's very important just to get to know each other. In another video, I'm going to actually give you a list of questions to ask. It's interesting that couples don't like to talk about finances before, but then it becomes an issue later. So I'm going to talk to you about having to have the conversation about finances. You've got to know what, your partner's assets versus their debts are. You got to know this. You got to know, how much they make. They need to know how much you make. If they have property, things like that. And I mean, of course, it's not a situation where you're like, okay, he's got all that and it's mine, or she's got all that, it's mine. No, you have to figure out what you're going to bring collectively to the table and what you want to keep aside for yourself. Or if you want to bring everything collectively, that's totally up to you. But when it comes to something like that, it does have to be discussed. It absolutely has to be discussed. That's one of the main things that really cause problems in relationship is money. So I'll be giving you strategies and questions on what to ask during your dating phase and when you're ready to move on to the relationship phase. So I hope this was helpful, and I think that's about it. I think I went through my notes. I kind of didn't stay on point with my notes. So hopefully it made sense. So thank you.